there's where I spotted him from. That big patch of trees, center screen. It's about 300 yards from there to where I spotted him at. I spotted him just about another 150 yards up the trail this way. This was supposed to be a deer hunt today, damn it. Yeah, I got on that little ridge you can see and spotted him. Big dry sow with about 10 80 pounders, give or take. And so I decided it was going to turn into a pig hunt. So yeah, turned it into a pig hunt. The way the wind was blowing, it was blowing right to her. I don't know how they didn't wind me, but so I circled up a good half a mile up this canyon to get around. There's a big slough right here in the bottom. I think you can see. If not, I'll show you here in a second. But yeah, I worked all the way up and around. It played out just like it was supposed to. Literally just like I had planned in my head, even to the spot where I was going to run into him at. Let's go over there and I'll show you how it all played out. Alright, so I just came back to the scene of the crime. Let me turn you around. Alright, I had worked all the way up around them bottom trees and up the side of this slough. See, this is what they went into. And I got right here in this open spot. They're going to be right here on the other side if I time this right, or they went in that slough and I'll never see them. Well, that opening right there, I could hear movement in the brush on the other side of the sagebrush. I could hear them just moving around in the brush, and then I spotted the smaller ones going through. So I stepped up to exactly where I'm standing right now, and the little ones are filing through. And then finally the bigger one stepped out, and as I drew back, she spotted me, but she wasn't too worried yet. Yeah, she wasn't really worried about me right there. She saw me and she was alerted, obviously, but and then I go to draw, and when I knocked, somehow my string was twisted around, and I'm still in the 20th century with my D-loop. I still use a D-ring instead of a D-loop string. So somehow I knocked it. My string had been twisted 180 degrees. So I go to draw my bow back, and I get up, my peep sight's backwards. I can't see anything through it. So yeah, I drew back and I couldn't see. I got crap. So I let down, and when I let down is when she started to spook. So when I started this, I learned how to shoot instinctively. I still got the same anchor point. I'll just shoot. I know I'm gonna hit her or I'm gonna totally miss. There wasn't any in between on that one. All I had in that little spot was a kill shot, or I was gonna miss. Anyways, 26 yards is all that is right there. I just ranged it again. 26 yards. And yeah, one thing I found out is getting back into bow hunting will humble the crap out of you. The second thing I learned is a kudu point broadhead will cut down a willow branch. I center punched that willow branch back behind him, and it timbered over like I'm a logger. So kudu points are good. I even got my arrow back and saved it, and it's still relatively sharp. I'll have to put the file on it and get it back to how it was, but that says something for the kudu points. All right, well, I just went over and checked out the spot I was coming to, and it's pretty barren over there, so I'm scouting around, and hopefully I can turn this pig hunt back into a deer hunt. We'll see what happens. I just thought that would get at least a laugh out of everybody. I'm not afraid to show my mess ups. And this was a mess up, but it was a good mess up. I've had 2 misses in 4 bow hunts so far this year, so I think that is pretty good. I missed a buck on Monday and missed a pig today. It's okay. I'm about 1.5 miles from the truck. I didn't really feel like packing a pig out right here anyways. But yeah, so let's go give it another shot and see what we can find. Maybe you'll see me check back in with a deer. Otherwise, you'll see me check back in at the truck and laugh at myself. Well, anybody can find a shed deer antler. Not everybody can find a shed pig jaw. Man, he's gonna be huge next year. Well, that was exciting. This is the next morning from where I got on those pigs last night. I'll pick up where I left off with my story. I really need to step up my camera game and get my GoPros fired up, but today was exciting. Almost as exciting as yesterday, not quite, but anyways, so you heard my saga about the pigs last night. After that, I went back and got back to the truck and moved to a different spot. It was glass, and I glassed up a group of 4 or 5 deer. It was 5 deer. There was 2 fawns, a doe, probably last year's Spike, probably her baby from last year, and a pretty nice forking horn. Not huge, but he was nice. He was probably 15 wide and probably 12 high. Not the biggest buck, but a pretty damn nice one for what I've been seeing. So anyways, I put in a slip on them, and I got to, what was it? It was 75 yards of the buck, but it was like 60 of the doe and the fawns. And they had me pinned. I couldn't go anywhere, which was, I mean, it was cool to get in on them, but 60 on that buck, I would have tried it. I can make 60 pretty good. I'm confident enough, but 75, he didn't even present me a shot. All I saw was his face sticking up above a bush. So there was nothing happening there. Excuse me for a second. Gotta rehydrate. Whew. Anyways, I went and got on them, and as I was trying to creep through the the 3 bushes in the 1.5 tall coyote grass, or not coyote grass, but oats and whatever, trying to get up a little closer. As I was doing that, the wind swirled and they caught my scent, and they was gone. So I jumped up, and as soon as they were out of eye shot, I jumped up and ran around the mountain. It wasn't a huge trek to get to where they were headed, so I ran around the mountain and I headed them off, and I found them again at 100 yards. I found the doe, I found the fawns, and I found the Spike, but I never did see that forking horn again. I was hoping to catch him again this morning, but I haven't seen hardly any deer this morning at all. I've seen 2 does and a fawn. At any rate, I set out a camera last night on a spot, and a lot of good sign around it, so I set up a camera, and I came back over here this morning. I was gonna go, it's pretty close to where I jumped them pigs last night. It was just a couple ridges over, maybe 300, 400 yards. And I walked through where I jumped them pigs last night, and there was sign all over the place. So they were back in there after I left. And so I backed out of there. Hopefully they'll be back again in that spot. But I circled down around where I dropped that cam. And as I'm coming through, I can hear something crunching down in the other slough where I've got that camera on. And crunch, crunch, crunch. I could never put eyes on anything. It's so thick with cattails and willows and oaks. It's nuts. If you shot anything on the edge of it, you'd never find it. Like I said yesterday, it'd be a tough deal. Anyways, I digress. So I'm still hearing them. It sounds like they're getting closer to me. So I set up in a little half-ass blind I made right there by where I stuck my camera. I figured, that'd be pretty cool if I could get a something, I don't know what it was, coming through and get a kill shot on the trail cam. That'd be really cool. But anyways, I sat there for about 40 minutes and the sound turned and went away from me. I kind of figured it might have just been birds. There's a ton of blackbirds that hang out in those cattails, so, and when they get to bouncing around and playing, they can sound like something walking. Anyways, so I didn't check my camera. It's still there, so that's good. But I went around the big slough, and tracks all over the place. Deer tracks, hog tracks, just everywhere this morning. Sign for days. They must have been out all night. I don't know why. It was foggy and dark. You couldn't see anything, but whatever. So I come around, just creeping along the edge of the slough, and I spotted movement out ahead of me about 100 yards, and it's a really nice boar. Not huge, but he's probably 150, 160 pounds, right in that range. Yeah, most people would probably say he was 300, but yeah, he was 160 pounds, give or take. And he had no idea I was there. I don't know how. There's not really much wind this morning, but there's just enough little breeze. I figured he was going to wind me, but he's just not presenting a shot, and this whole time I'm creeping up. I was getting ready to draw at 50 because he gave me a couple second window, and I just didn't feel right, so I let my bow back down, and he went in behind some dead trees and stuff, so he couldn't hear me. He was making big crunches himself, so he wouldn't. And you could hear more pigs in the brush all around me, but he was the only one I had a visual on. So the little bit of crunching I was making coming through wasn't really affecting anything. Nobody knew I was there. So I'm creeping. I got to 30. I'll sit right here and wait. This is perfect. It's a chip shot. He found something good to eat behind that tree. So what the hell? See if I can get to 20. Got up to 20. And mind you, it's deer season. I'm not overly on the hunt for a pig, but if I get the shot, I'll take one for sure, like yesterday and this morning. So I'm at 30. I move up. I get to 20. He's still oblivious. I think he had a feeling I was there by then, because his ears were starting to flick, and every once in a while he'd pick his head up and look around. He knew something was there, but he didn't know what. I took about 4 more steps because I figured, what the hell? Let's see how close I can get to him. And I got 15 yards. I had already decided that I wasn't necessarily going to shoot, but it was just fun trying to get up on it. I got 15 yards and he boogered out of there. Took the rest of the sounder with him. That was fun as hell though. That was awesome. I really forgot how much fun it was to chase stuff with a bow, getting up close. I mean, hell, if it was anywhere else, any other time of year, I would have pork for days now. Yesterday would have been nothing, 200 yards on that big black one, and less than 100 this morning on this big black and white spotted one. Yeah, that was a kick in the ass. I'm glad I put myself in a situation where I could pick up my bow and feel confident to go out and put on stalks again. Not that I didn't necessarily before, but I mean, I've been shooting a bow since I got my first bow when I was graduating 8th grade. So was that about 13, 14, I guess. I got it for 8th grade graduation and been shooting ever since. It took actually the last probably 10 years. I probably didn't hardly shoot at all. Once in a while, just because of whatever, living situations and different interests coming up and kids and all that jazz. But the last few years I've been picking it back up, and the end of last season, beginning of this season is I've really been hitting it pretty hard. So it'll happen. It's been a long time since I killed anything with the bow, let alone stalked anything with the bow. So man, that was fun. Well, I'm gonna go move to another spot and glass me up something. Hopefully I can find something exciting. Otherwise it might be an early day. It's 10 o'clock now, or almost 10 o'clock. I might call it an early day, and I've discovered I need to get a new quiver. The old foam insert in mine is not doing its job, or maybe doing its job too well. I carry my Kudus, and I also carry a couple expandables, just, I don't know why, just for the hell of it, I guess. And seems like about every second time I pull an expandable out, it's already deployed in my quiver. So we'll get one of the new style that don't have the foam insert and see if that changes anything. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been serious about this bow stuff. It might be time for somebody to talk me into buying a new bow. We'll see. Nathan's been trying, so we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll do a little wrap up on this vlog here in a little while. Hopefully I can find something else to look at.